Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Blazor shop series or the Blazor e-commerce series. Today the big goal are the order quantities. You wanted to dictate the amount of products you want to buy, and if you have a look at the screen, maybe I want to buy 2 copies of the Hitchhiker's Guide of the Galaxy or to the Galaxy, and then I can do that now. This is already the result we are going to build in this episode, and as you can see here, I can decide how many books I want to buy. I can add them to the cart, and then when I have a look here in the cart, I see again I've got 4, and here then I can still change the amount, and as you can see on the right side, the prices also change, and then I can place the order, and the books are kind of bought. And that's the big goal. There's some stuff we have to do to make this possible to realize that. And another thing, a little bonus thing is, maybe you've already seen it, the views from the last episode. You wanted to know how can I change the view count. So in this case we have 134,000 views, and instead of writing the zeros, we just write the K here in the end, similar to the view count, subscriber count on YouTube. And I think I've got another example here. No, this is just 12. But what about Ready Player One? No, I don't find the example for now, but I also changed it with 1 million. You will see this in a second. I will discard all the changes, and then we will do this together. But first, again, thank you so much for all your support. For everyone who bought me a coffee, maybe you want to buy me a coffee too. It's not very early today, and I have to tell you a secret. This is not coffee. This is a green tea, but still tastes pretty well. So thank you very much for that. I really appreciate that. And of course, I appreciate if you click the like button and subscribe to my channel. And maybe you want to subscribe to my newsletter to get early access and discounts to all the upcoming courses and tips and tricks on blazor.net and whatnot. This was a cable that just fell down. Well, I think everything still works. Okay, let's do this. I will switch to Visual Studio now and make the changes. Alright, so I switched my branches again. As you can see here, there's the order quantity branch for my preparations. But now let's change this stuff together. And the very first thing we need is we have to change the cart item here, because now we want to add the quantity of the cart item or the product variant, whatever. And this is pretty straightforward. We've got an integer and just say add the quantity. This is not an item or an entity that we also see in the database, so we don't have to do a migration here. It's just another property for the cart item, and we are already done with that. And already the next thing we have to do, we have to change a razor component, and this would be the product details razor component. And what we want to add here is a cart item in the code block, because I can already tell you that first we will use an EditForm to change the amount of items we want to buy. And then we did a lot with the product variants before. When we added items to the cart, we used the product variant model. And to display them, we used the product variant model. To be honest, I don't know why I used this model, because, well, we've got the cart item, and we will change all that and then use the cart item only and not the product variant. But let's do this one step after another. So the first thing is to add a cart item here in the code block, and then here in the HTML, we will add a little input field to decide which amount or which number of items, what number of items, the amount of items. I don't know, my English today is not the best. We want to buy. Okay, long story short, we add the cart item, and this is again a private field here. The cart item again here, new cart item, and I already want to initialize this with a quantity of 1, because this is actually the only thing we need now in the edit form. And the edit form now can be actually, where can we put this? Yeah, let's do this here. So we add the edit form component, and this edit form now needs a model, and this is our cart item. And in there now we add a new div with the class form group, and in there we add the input number component, and this thing now gets an ID with the quantity. We bind a certain value, and this is now the quantity of the cart item. And then we add a class for this, so it looks a bit better. This is a form control. And also I'd like to change the width of this thing. I know inline styles never do that. Well, I don't care, I do it anyways because I'm lazy now. And this is how we change the number of items we want to buy. Let's have a look. Is it rebuilding? I don't know. Let's save this again. Let's have a look in Chrome maybe. Yeah, I saw it already. Yeah, there it is. All right, so we've got our input number field here, and I can change the amount of books I want to buy here. Of course, under the hood, not much has changed yet. And by the way, you can also see that the views look still different or the same as in the last episode. We do not see the K or the M for the millions, but we will change that in the end. Okay, the next thing now is to actually change the add to cart method in the product details component. Down here we have this thing here, add to cart, and we call the add to cart method of the cart service. This we will also change because now this thing takes a product variant as an argument, and we will change that and make a cart item out of that. As I said, I don't know why I used the product variants here. Maybe I have to look the episode by myself again, but it does make more sense to use cart items anyways. So let's do that. First, we need the product variant indeed to get all the information. And this is done with the getSelectedVariant method. And then we say for the cart item we already have now that the edition ID is the product variant edition ID. Then for the cart item, now it works. For the cart item edition name, it's product variant edition name. Then cart item image is product image. Cart item price is the product variant price. Then the cart item product ID is the product variant product ID, or we could have used just the product ID. And last thing here, product title is the title of our product. And now we put the cart item here. And yeah, now this is straightforward. Again, we have to make some changes to all the things that are now coming. So first, the add to cart method takes a cart item now. And then of course we have to change, or let's call this item. And then we have to change the method itself, of course. So we have to go to the implementation class, the cart service, add to cart, there is it already. Now here it's a cart item. And then let's have a look. So we want to access the local storage, and instead of a list of product variants, now the cart consists or will consist of a list of cart items. And if this list is empty or the cart is empty, then we create a new list. And then we say cart add item. And down here, get product can also be replaced. The product variant can be replaced by the actual cart item. There's one more thing I want to add here already. It could be the case that the same item is already in the cart, and before we would display the items several times. So if you want to buy 2 books, the same books, then you would see them 2 times. But instead now I want to change that and just increase the amount of books you want to buy. So first we check if we already got the same item. So let's say same item is, we access our cart, and then we say find the item where the product ID equals the item product ID and the edition ID is also the same. So these are in essence the primary keys, and if that is the case, then so if same item is null, we did not find the same item, then we say add the item to the cart, and if not, we say same item quantity plus equals item quantity. We do not only increase it by 1, we say we want to see the current quantity that's in the cart and add the new quantity. So maybe you want to buy 2 extra books, then we add 2 numbers of them to the quantity of the whole product. Okay, I think that's it. After that, we again save this or store this in the local storage, and then we get the product ID. We show our toast notification, and that should be it. Okay, then we've got the methods get cart items and delete cart items, which we can already fix. And what we have to do here is again replace product variant by cart item. And then, and this is the fun part actually, we say if the cart is null, then we return the result, which is an empty list. And before we had to generate a complete new list with product or with cart items because we have only stored product variants. But now we can just remove this because we already have cart items in our local storage. So get cart items is pretty small now. We create an empty list, replace it by the one in the local storage if it is not null, and that's it now, I guess. Let me double check that. This is also wrong. Okay, this we had to change. Now I see, I saw the little error here. So we initialize an empty list of cart items. Then we say if, you know what, we can actually change it like that. I actually just want to return an empty list of cart items if the cart item or the cart object is not in the local storage. But if we see it, then we return the cart. So I think this makes more sense now. And regarding the delete item, we have again a list of cart items. if the cart is null, we simply return, and the rest can just stay the same, I think. Okay, there's one more thing we have to change, or we have to add actually. When we place an order, we want to empty the cart. So let's add a new method here to do exactly that. Task empty cart, like that. Save this and let's implement the interface. Come on. Yep, there it is. And in this method, again, pretty straightforward. We just say await local storage, remove item async cart, and we invoke the event again on change, and this is an async method, and now Visual Studio is also fine with that. Okay, that's it for the service, I think, and now we have to go to the actual cart razor file, because there are some things to change as well, of course, and the very first thing is displaying the correct price. There it is, the item price here, and now we have to, well, count in the quantity, of course. So the item price is now the item price times the item quantity, and the same is true for the total price. So here we also add the quantity, and again I want to add an input number field now to change, or to still be able to change the quantity of the item, and we can actually do that below the delete button here. So again, we add an edit form with the model item, and this is this one now here from our for each. And now we can add an input number. I think actually a div is not really necessary to make this pretty. Let's try it this way, and again we bind the value, which is the item quantity. We add the class form control, and again a style with a certain width. Let's close this, and that should be it. And the next thing now is a button to place the order. So we add another div down here below the total, and let me already add some style here. I want to center this, so we say text align center, and also margin top is 10 pixels, and then we add a simple button with the class button primary, and let's make this one big with button large. And then the on click event will call a certain method we will add in a second. Call this place order, and we also call the button place order. And now we add the actual place order method, and we also need a new variable for that, because you've seen it in the beginning of this episode that when an order has been placed, we want to display another text, thank you for ordering, something like that, and again display a list of the items that have been ordered. And to do that, we need a new variable, just a flag, order placed, true or false. So let's do that here. Bool order placed is false in the beginning, and then our method private async task place order. It's an async method because we want to empty the cart, and we have to call the cart service to do that. Remember, we added the method a minute ago, and now we say order placed is true, and we say await cart service empty cart. And this should be it actually. And the last thing now is to also add the change the style of this page here, because when the order has been placed, then we say, or when it's not placed, we say we show the title shopping cart, and if we place an order, then again we want to display the items we have just bought without the controls or without the buttons to delete an item and so on. So first, if order placed, then we display the title, and then actually we can move all this down here. So if an order has not been placed, we see the title, then we see a text that we have no cart items in our cart if this is the case. And if we get some, if we have some cart items, we display them with the controls. And if an order has been placed, then we actually can say something like H3 and then thank you for your order, and then H4, let's say here's what you get, and then we can actually copy this and make a few changes. So we have a div with all the cart items and we display the image, but we don't need the delete button. We also don't need the edit form. Price, yeah, we can show the price and we can show the total price, but we do not need the place order button here. Okay, I think that's it. Let's see if this has been rebuilt. Let's go to Chrome. Okay, let's have a look. Let me just refresh this. I add 2 books of the Hitchhiker's Guide. Yeah, I have the change control or the input number control here. The prices change as well. And if I say place order, thank you for your order, here's what you'll get, the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Great, this works already. Let's do another test. Ready Player One, and I want to buy some video games. Half-Life 2, great game. Diablo 2. There's a remake coming soon. I hope this will not make me some trouble, or I hope I won't get into some trouble when the remake is there, because then I won't have time to make new videos. Maybe. Let's see. Okay, I see my card here. I can make some changes. Let's say I want to delete this one. Maybe also delete Diablo 2 because there's a new version coming out, right? So 2 times Ready Player One, 3 times Half-Life 2, place the order, and it works. Nice. This is really, really nice. The card is also empty now. Now, of course, there's also some things we can do better. We are still in the card, and if I click the card button now, I stay on that page. So maybe we could have added another page, navigate the user there, and yeah, do something like that. But again, when we navigate back and then go to the cart, then we see there's our shopping cart and we have no items in there. And then we can start buying new items again. Great, that's it. And one bonus thing I wanted to show you. So we've got Half-Life 2 with 11 views, for instance. We've got the Super Nintendo. Let's see the books, 4 views, 1 view here. 133,000 views here. And let me have a quick look at the database. Okay, there it is. And now let's have a look at the products table. Here are some views. Yeah, exactly. And let's just add another 0 here, Ready Player One. So we've got a 100K, and maybe for 1984 we have 1K. And if I now go back, should see that Ready Player One, we are in the millions. Here we are in the thousands, and here the 100,000s. And now to change that, add the K and the M for the thousands and the millions. We go back to the product details component. Product details, there it is. And we add a new method, which is called getViewString, because up here we just say product views to string. And I want to replace that with this new method now. So let's say private string getViewString. And then it's really simple. I'm sure there are more intelligent and clever ways to do this, but I just say if we've got over 1 million views, yeah, then we just say return a string with, first turn this into a float, the product views, and divide that by 1 million. And then turn this into a string with that format here. And this would be the case for the millions, and at the M here, like that. Then we say, what about 100,000? Divide this by 1,000, and we just want to display it like that. Then we say we have over 1,000 views, and in this case again we divide by 1,000 and just use the K instead of the M. And the last case, the default case, let's say, is we simply display the product views as a string with this format here, a leading 0. This should be it. And now we say, instead of product views directly, we say we want to see the result of the getViewString methods. Okay, let's have a look. It is rebuilding. Yeah, 134K for the Hitchhiker's Galaxy. Ready Player One, 1.34 million, and 1.34K for 1984. And again, regarding the other items, we see the leading zeros. Perfect. That's it for this episode already. I thought it would take some more time, but you see, maybe I was a bit too fast. If so, please tell me. And if you have any other suggestions, any other feedback, ideas for the shop, please write it down in the comments. And apart from that, I simply have to say thank you very much for watching. And again, thank you very much for supporting me. Maybe you want to buy me a coffee or a tea. Sometimes it's just tea. Thank you very much for subscribing and liking, or hitting the like button, and maybe even the bell button, the bell icon, so that you get notifications for new videos. And maybe you want to subscribe to my newsletter to get early access and information about new courses coming up. I promise I won't spam you. I rarely write an email. I should do this more often maybe. And if you want to dive deeper into Blazor WebAssembly, a full stack Blazor WebAssembly app, then maybe you want to check out the Blazor WebAssembly full stack bootcamp. there's a 2-hour preview here on YouTube. We will create an online browser game, classic online browser game there, where users can register real authentication here with JSON web tokens, and then users can create an army of users, not of users, of units. As I said, English is not the best today. Anyways, an army of fighters, archers, knights, mages, and so on, and then they can fight against other users, climb the leaderboard. Funny little game, and I'm currently also making the update with .NET 5, so this is online soon, I promise. There are some changes from .NET Core 3.1 to .NET 5, but I think the changes from .NET 5 to .NET 6 will not be that big. So yeah, maybe you want to check it out, and maybe you want to watch the preview on YouTube. If you want to get the full course, please check out the link in the video description. What else we can say? Yeah, we're getting better still. And maybe, I know you don't want to hear this, but maybe the schedule will be different in the future. It took me 2 weeks to make this video, and maybe this will be the new schedule, the regular schedule, I hope, because currently, maybe you heard my baby, he's teething and crying a lot lately. So yeah, a lot going on, but still I hope to make videos at least bi-weekly, and I would really appreciate it if you stay with me. Yeah, I know I stopped talking. Again, thank you very much for watching, and I see you next time. Take care.